What's going on, you guys? This is DerekJ Speaks, and we are here to talk about WWE Saturday night's main event, live from the Nassau Coliseum in Long Island, New York on December 14th, 2024. WWE went retro with this show tonight. They had the full setup of old school Saturday night's main event with the arena setup, with the entranceway, having the fence, the metal guardrails. They had the smaller entrance tunnel. They had the block letters for the logo. They had people dressed up old school. You had people in bow ties. You had the referees in bow ties. Legends made appearances. And of course, we had Jesse the Body Ventura, who has recently rejoined WWE under a Legends deal. He was a heavy presence on this show, and he was even on commentary for the main event. The main event, of course, being Cody Rhodes defending the WWE Championship against Kevin Owens. Cody also went old school after a video on YouTube earlier in the week showed Triple H presenting Cody Rhodes with a special gift to have with him for Saturday night's main event, telling him it was for one night only. We all bear witness to what that gift was, and that was the classic old school winged eagle WWE Championship belt, worn by so many: Hulk Hogan, Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair, Bret Hart, Yokozuna, The Undertaker, Psycho Sid, and of course Stone Cold Steve Austin for like 24 hours when he ditched it after winning at WrestleMania 14 and won the Big Eagle Championship. So really cool to see that belt back. That was always within my top 3 or 4 favorite championship belts of all time, and it looked great. It's a damn shame it's only for one night that Cody got to hold on to it here, but it was really cool to see. See it on TV, seeing them hold it up, seeing it around Cody's waist. I was wondering, though, if WWE would have the balls, the cojones, to have that championship belt be put onto Kevin Owens in this match, and the answer is they did not, and they played it safe. After a main event full of shenanigans, Cody Rhodes walked in with the Winged Eagle Championship belt, and he got to walk out with the Winged Eagle Championship belt. Cody Rhodes is still the WWE Champion, not without a lot of hoopla in this match. Heading into this match, he was selling an ankle injury caused by a match with Chad Gable on television a few weeks prior, and that played a role in Kevin Owens getting some heat on him, but it didn't play a major factor into the finish, because after a couple of ref bumps, we had one ref get bumped by Kevin Owens, and then we had another ref get bumped by Cody. So we had a few referees go down here. After one point, though, Kevin Owens introduced a steel chair into the ring, and as he went to use it on Cody Rhodes, Cody managed to avoid it. He hit him, Owens that is, with a Cody cutter, and then he hit him with the crossroads, but Cody hit the crossroads onto the steel chair, the same chair that Kevin Owens, of course, introduced, but he did not get to use it, but Cody did, and he used it successfully, and it allowed him to retain the championship. So Cody Rhodes, still the champion. I was really hoping they would shake things up and throw a little curveball into things and give Kevin Owens the championship, but they did not do that here. Jesse Ventura, like I mentioned, he was on commentary, and he did a phenomenal job. He is a little older and a little slower in his delivery, but he's still the same Jesse Ventura of old days. Now, I didn't grow up watching the WWF back then. Obviously, I'm not super nostalgic for hearing Jesse on commentary, but through my obsession with wrestling, of course, I've gone through and have listened to many classic matches and pay-per-views, hearing Jesse on commentary, whether it be with Gorilla Monsoon or with even Tony Schiavone, believe it or not, but of course also with Vince McMahon. And he always sounded great. He was always the voice of reason when he was a commentator, and he was that voice of reason here. He was the one who pointed out that Cody Rhodes had the ankle injury that Kevin Owens needed to work over, and he was the one who was the first to point out that Cody is the one who cheated here because he used the steel chair and Kevin Owens did not. Now, granted, Kevin was going to, he just couldn't. He's the one who introduced the chair in the first place, but that was his ultimate downfall. But I imagine that could potentially be a story that will play out on television, because there's no way this is over. Kevin Owens, he didn't attack Cody after the match or anything like that, but they did get a shot of Kevin's face as he was walking away in the entranceway, and he looked very dejected and very upset, but he looked like this wasn't over. They were teasing it because they were drawing it out a little bit, so they were teasing like he might get back in the ring and attack Cody, but he never did. But I suspect that this is not quite over, mainly because we still do not have Randy Orton back. Randy Orton got taken out with a pile driver at the hands of Kevin Owens many weeks ago, and I was sure that the reason, if there would be a reason that Kevin Owens would lose this match, would be because of a returning Randy Orton to screw him over. But no Randy. There were references to Randy. At one point before a commercial break, Kevin Owens laid out Cody with a backdrop onto the announce table, and he looked into the camera and said, "Hi, Randy." So that was funny. And then a little bit later on, Cody Rhodes hit Kevin Owens with an RKO on the announce table. So they kept Randy's name alive here, and they mentioned him a bunch, and they referenced him to the point where I thought, okay, this is definitely a foregone conclusion that he's going to be out here. But I think the biggest shock of the night for me was that Randy Orton did not appear in this main event, either during or after the match. So, caught me off guard. So, we should definitely suspect that Randy will return at some point. Will they save him for the Raw Netflix debut? That show's already ended up, or is going to be expected to be loaded up big time. So, could they save it for there? Could they save it for any week on TV? You don't know. But I suspect Randy Orton will be back into the fray, and he'll be heading after Kevin Owens, who himself will probably still be looking to take that title from Cody Rhodes. So maybe we can get a triple threat out of it somehow. I don't know. But here, I was a little bummed to see Kevin Owens lose, because I was really hoping that they would shake things up and start off this whole new revival of Saturday night's main event in a big way by having a big moment like Kevin Owens beating Cody and winning the championship. But it wasn't to be. But it was still a fine match. It was definitely a TV match, but it was still a fine match. And you can say that a lot about the rest of this card. A lot of really solid matches all up and down this show. The show opened up with Drew McIntyre versus Sami Zayn, and a really great match, fun atmosphere with the crowd. The crowd was really hot into it, with it being the first match of the night. McIntyre, to no one's surprise, got the victory. I will say that is one thing about this show, very predictable, and that is one giant criticism of a lot of WWE events, PLEs all year. You look up and down the year of shows and PLEs that they've done, a lot of them have been really good, a lot of great matches and things that have forwarded stories and whatnot, but a lot of these shows, you come away looking at it like, well, I pretty much picked everything that was going to happen. That doesn't necessarily mean it was bad, but it just looks like these are the safe options to go with, and they went with them. And that was more of the same here. It was very, very predictable. But again, that does not necessarily mean bad, because I did enjoy this show. And it was because of matches like McIntyre and Sami here, who had a damn good opening match that saw McIntyre get the win with a Claymore kick right out of nowhere. And it went all the way into the second match of the night, which was Liv Morgan defending her Women's World Championship against Io Sky. This was a really fun match. This was probably the best singles match that I've seen Liv Morgan have all year. And this is a year that has consisted of her wrestling people like Rhea Ripley and Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair and people like that. And this match on this night was probably one of the best matches I've seen her in all year. And that is in large part due to Io Sky, who, of course, is one of the best in the world. Not just women's wrestlers, but wrestlers, period. She is one of my favorite wrestlers to watch in any gender, any company. She is one of the best in the entire world, and she proved that here tonight, although she did not get the win. In this match, too, I was also hoping for kind of a shock win for Io, but they didn't do it. But Io did get a little pound of flesh in there, because at one point during the match, she struck Liv with a brutal knee right to the face that clearly busted Liv's nose up. Liv went down. The blood started immediately pouring out of her nose. Very good chance that nose is broken. If not, I would be shocked. But it was not enough to give Io the win, because as she went up top, she came down with the moonsault, but Liv got her feet up and she kind of kicked her out of the air. And then she got her in the ropes, came off with the Oblivion, and got the win. So even with a bloody, potentially broken nose, Liv Morgan is still the women's world champion. But before she could leave, she was confronted on the stage by Rhea Ripley. The two of them had a face-off, and I'm pulling for this match to take place on that Raw January 6th show, the Netflix debut, and give Rhea the championship back and end this feud properly. It's gone on long enough. This is a story that dates all the way back to, honestly, if you want to go deep with it, this is a story that dates back 2 years ago, back in 2022, when Rhea first turned on Liv and joined the Judgment Day in the first place. But it goes back to last year when Liv was injured and they credited Rhea Ripley for injuring her, and then way earlier this year with Liv Morgan's revenge tour, and she took out Rhea backstage, and that caused Rhea to go out with an injury for a few months, and that led to Liv eventually winning the championship, stealing Dirty Dom and the Judgment Day period away from Rhea Ripley. This stuff has gone on all year. It's had its many ups and it's had its a few downs, and recently there just isn't that much more to it that is overly exciting. So I'm not willing to wait until the Rumble. Let's get this match done on a big show like that Netflix debut. Let's do it there. Crown Rhea, because we all know that is the end game of this feud. For all the Liv Morgan fans, I hear you, I see you, but you gotta be realistic here. They are not keeping that championship on Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan was never supposed to be the champion, especially not for this long. But they have managed to milk this feud and stretch it out. But it is time to come to an end. And the ending of this feud is Rhea beating her and winning the championship back. So let's get to that pretty soon. We also had a triple threat match for the World Heavyweight Championship. Gunther defending against Damian Priest and Finn Balor. Easily the best match of the entire night. Just all action from start to finish here. It got broken up a little bit with the commercial break. Prior to the commercial, it was just, a lot of big moves and things like that. But coming out of the break, it was just balls to the wall action, just fast-paced, high-energy action with all three guys. A lot of great power moves, especially from the big guys like Gunther and Priest. And I really liked the finish. There were some close calls there. Balor almost got a good near fall here and there. Priest, he hit the South of Heaven on both men, and both times they got broken up. So he came close to winning here too. But in the end, it was the Ring General who was able to dominate both of his opponents. He laid out Damian Priest with a power bomb onto the steel steps on the floor. He kind of struggled to get him up, but he still planted him on the steps, and it was indeed brutal to see that. But he got rid of Priest, got back in the ring, shotgun drop kick to Balor into the corner, picked him up, hit him with a power bomb, and he got the win. So Gunther, still the champion, and very definitively, cleanly wins this match. And hopefully this is the end of his self-confidence issues. Of course, they've been playing that story up ever since he lost to Cody Rhodes at Crown Jewel. They played that up at Survivor Series, and even a little bit coming out of Survivor Series, given his win wasn't the cleanest there. But now he has vanquished both Priest and Balor. So hopefully that is the end of this feud, or at least this is the end of Gunther having really anything to do with either man. And maybe Balor and Priest, who, much like Rhea and Liv, their stuff needs to end too. So maybe they get one more blow-off match between the two of them and they can end it there. We'll see. But great stuff here, but I'm definitely ready for all three men to move on to new things. And then we had the crowning of the first ever Women's United States Champion after weeks of triple threat matches and all these tournament matches with the women on SmackDown. It culminated here with Chelsea Green taking on Michin in what was a pretty fun match and really highlighted by the crowd, who was firmly in the corner of Chelsea Green here. Chelsea Green, obviously the heel heading into this match, even had her partner Piper Niven out there giving her assistance and interfering on her behalf on the outside. But the fans were all into Chelsea Green, and they only got more and more behind her as the match went on. And when it came down to the end, it was Michin having Chelsea Green up top, and then Piper Niven, who had got laid out on the floor earlier by Michin with Eat Defeat. She got back up, she got on the apron, Michin knocked her off, and then as she went back over to Chelsea, Chelsea smacks her right in the face, and then she hooks her arms, and basically as Chelsea is on top, she kind of flips herself off of the top turnbuckle and then flips herself over Michin and then lands right in position to hit Michin with the Unpretty Her and gets the win. And Chelsea Green, just like that, is the very first ever Women's United States Champion. Huge pop. Honestly, one of the biggest pops of the entire night was Chelsea Green's win here, which was really cool to see. So, very happy for her. She's been an unsung hero in this company all year. Honestly, for the last couple of years now, since she's come back to WWE. She has been tremendous at what she's done. In-ring wise, it's give or take, but just character-wise and personality-wise, she is just such a great energy and presence on TV. They send her out there to do her thing, and she kills it almost every single time. She walks away, she gets these fans firmly invested in her, even when she's a heel. The people like her and they support her. You could see that with the reaction she got on this show. Again, a clear heel, but got one of the biggest pops of the entire night. That is how much these fans are invested in her as an on-screen presence, and it was really cool to see that be the end result for her, winning the championship here. And I don't know how long she's going to hold it. Honestly, with the way her character functions, I don't expect her to hold it for too long, but she is the first champion, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with this championship and how they can use it to further elevate the women's division, specifically the women's mid-card. So we'll see how that works out. And also with the Women's Intercontinental Championship soon to be introduced on Raw. But that's it for this show. There really isn't much more to it than that. We got a lot of big stuff coming up for WWE. Like I mentioned, the Raw on Netflix show, that's coming up. But as for me, that is it. Good show tonight. Next time I'm talking to you guys will probably be for AEW World's End at the end of the month, as well as my top 20 matches of the year. We'll be talking about that, and then all the way into the new year, where I will be reviewing the debut of Raw on Netflix. So big stuff coming up in these next couple of months as we enter 2025. So until next time, thank you guys. Take care. And just like that, we are back. It was a nice sign off I had there, but just like with Bad Blood as I'm recording. I finish, I'm ready to end it, and then right there at the very end, I log back on to social media and see some shit happened after the show was over. And once again, it has to do with Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes. So the video, they're circulating online. I don't believe there was an official WWE posting of it, but apparently after the show, Cody Rhodes is on the microphone cutting a promo, and I talked about it. I said, look at Kevin Owens as he was leaving the ring and in the apron, or in the entranceway. I said the way they were stretching things out, it looked like he might come back in the ring and attack him, but nothing happened. Well, it happened after the show was over. Cody's cutting a promo. Kevin Owens comes in, attacks him from behind, and then puts him in position to hit him with a package pile driver. Now, if you are a longtime fan of Kevin Owens, all the way back in his Kevin Steen days, you are very familiar with the package pile driver. That was his finishing move for many, many years. And we saw him do a regular, albeit not great looking, pile driver to Randy Orton on TV several weeks ago. But here, this is the move that I was waiting for. So Kevin Owens does indeed hit the package pile driver on Cody Rhodes after the show. And he stole Cody's Winged Eagle Championship belt. And even more than that, as Kevin Owens is leaving, walking back down the ramp up the stage near Gorilla, Triple H, Paul Levesque himself, Triple H comes out and confronts him. The two of them start yelling at each other. They start shoving each other. Triple H is shoving Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens is kind of shoving him back. They're in each other's faces. They have to be pulled apart. So, mass chaos here in the post-show for Saturday night's main event. Really would have liked for this to have been on the show, and would have liked for Kevin Owens to have done this and won the championship, but we basically got what I was hoping we would get. I was hoping that Kevin Owens would hit Cody with a package pile driver, leave him laying, and leave with the championship and have utter chaos follow him. So they still did that. They just didn't actually officially give Kevin Owens the championship. So, but like I said in my review several minutes ago, I do suspect that Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes will have a rematch. I think Randy Orton will have to come back eventually. I don't know. Randy Orton's been out with the pile driver for several weeks now. And Cody, who is still the champion, just got laid out with a package pile driver here. So I don't know if they're going to play that injury up for Cody and he's going to be off TV for a while. I'm very curious to see how this goes. But I did want to mention that I did see this video, at least a version of this video online, and I wanted to tack on my thoughts on it at the end of this. And I didn't really want to edit out the sign off because I thought it worked pretty good. So this is just a nice little add-on to that. So thank you for sticking here, and I guess that's it. So thank you guys for listening and appreciate you. See you next time. Bye. For real this time. Bye.